Hi, so my name's Tashi, and for my other video, I kind of introduced myself of what I've been going through in my whole entire life. Again, I'm 38 years old. I used to be 890 pounds. I'm down to 195, 196, around there. Um, it was a really hard struggle to go through. Me being overweight, it was really harder for me as a kid. A lot of picked on, a lot of self-starving, trying to figure out what I could do to be smaller, to be like fit in with everybody else type of thing. I had friends that did not care how big I was or how I was. They just saw me as a person and just saw like how I was as far as my personality and trying to compensate for stupid things basically. Um, I either have, or in my side of the family, where you're either really, really big or really, really small. So for me, it wasn't about eating, it was more genetics than anything else. Um, my mom was heavy, my dad, he like fluctuates up and down, but he's tall. So for me, I didn't look as big as I did because of the fact of me being tall. Um, I'm 6 foot, and for me, that's a challenge in itself too, especially growing up. In the 80s, it was always getting picked on. They didn't like love big girls the way that they love big girls now. I know people still have struggles with weight and trying to figure out what they need to do. I had a gastric bypass, Roux-en-Y gastric bypass, about 10 years ago. And from there, I had to lose 400 pounds before I can even go get the surgery, due to the fact that they wanted to make sure that I was safe enough to go under. Um, Within that time frame, my husband, which was my boyfriend at the time, he helped me with trying to lose weight and trying to like, he would like exercise with me and do whatever I needed to do as far as like my eating and making sure that I'm not eating the wrong things or anything. I ended up losing that weight, and it took a while to get it down, but with the right exercising, food, drinking a lot of water, stop drinking soda. I love potatoes, I love bread, but because of the fact that I need to lose the weight, I just stopped eating all that stuff. I kind of turned into almost a vegetarian, to stop eating the meat. Um, for a while, it was like a bad habit to the point where I started just starving myself, and that started messing with my insides, and it wasn't healthy at all. Um, Within that time frame too, I was having a lot of problems, and I didn't know like what it was, and the doctors couldn't figure out either, with the burning sensations that I was having in my arms and my back, and they thought that I had fibromyalgia or something. So from there, I started taking pills, Norcos, Oxycontin, whatever I can basically get my hands on. A lot of people didn't know that I was doing that. I didn't make it, or try to make it noticeable, basically. Um, Now when I tell them I used to be a pill popper, it's just like, what? Like, I never even knew type of thing. Um, Everybody mostly thought that I was a goody goody. I mean, like, that my brother was the one that was the bad, and I'm the one that was just like the goody two shoes, type of person, which I really wasn't. Maybe I portrayed that, but I mean, I always put on a face. Now that I'm older, I don't put on a face the way that I used to put it on when I was little. After I got the surgery, it took a long time to get like recovery. I had some complications and I ended up getting an ulcer, and that ulcer ended up erupted, and from that I was in the hospital for about a month and a half, 2 months, with tubes sticking out of me and trying to get all the toxins out of me and everything else. I know I'm kind of jumping around in between, but it's hard for me to figure out exactly what it is that I need to say when it's on video. I had after I had lost all my, like, majority of all my weight, me and my boyfriend broke up. I ended up cheating, and I couldn't live with the fact of me cheating with him. And the whole entire time, like, I don't know why I did it, but it felt like because everybody was like going around saying like, oh, well, you're cheating on him, you're cheating on him, you're cheating on him, when I really wasn't. Like, I was just hanging out with the guy, but I ended up getting, which I never thought would happen, would be is getting brainwashed and not really thinking for myself. I was thinking for somebody else, basically. And I ended up leaving my husband, and sorry, well, he was my boyfriend at the time, but I ended up leaving him and getting into a really, really bad relationship that I didn't think that I would ever get into. I was probably about 20 at the time, and, well, actually, no, sorry, I was like 26 or 25, 26 at the time. And I ended up out of nowhere getting into an emotional and abusive relationship. It came out of nowhere. I just walked in the door one day, and because something wasn't done, I just got slapped in the face. And I didn't know what was going on or anything like that. Then he started yelling and screaming. His father started yelling and screaming at me too. So it wasn't like I was just getting abused by one person. I was getting abused by 3 different people. I got yelled at and hit by his dad. I got yelled at, hit by his mom. I got yelled at, hit by him. His dad used to beat the hell out of his wife, and any little thing could set somebody off, especially the fact when they're bipolar, and they don't take their medicine. He also had problems also, and he ended up beating the fuck out of me to the point, beating me up to the point where I got put into a coma and was in a coma for about 3 weeks. Nobody knew where I was. I kind of was off the grid and everything else. I don't even remember being beaten to the point where I had to go to the hospital, or even that I was in the hospital. When I woke up, I realized I was just like, what am I doing? Like, this is not whatever I expected, and I never told myself I would ever want to be in this type of situation. When I finally got released and got out, he tried to beat me up again for something really stupid, and just for not picking something up off the floor. and he ended up sleeping with a gun underneath his pillow. And so every night I would go to sleep, I would be afraid that he would like just put the gun on my head and just shoot me out of nowhere. I ended up one day being able to get my social security, my ID, and my birth certificate because they had all that, and I needed to go and renew my food stamps. I was living in New York at the time, and from there I ended up just running with what I had on my back. I had $5 in my bag, and I just left. I was just like, I can't do this. I texted my ex, who's my husband now, but I texted him and I told him I was done, and he's like, what do you mean you're done? And I was, are you done off of work or whatever? And I was like, no, I'm done with the situation that I'm in. I can't do this anymore. I'm afraid for my life. And he was like, okay, well, just come to me and we'll figure it out. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, just get over here. So I ended up going into Queens, and he saw me, and he saw the state that I was in as far as like my face all bruised up. I was super skinny to the point where I looked like a skeleton. I was like 160 pounds or less because I wasn't eating. I wasn't taking care of myself at all. And that's one of the reasons why I got really, really sick and had to stay in the hospital for a while because I was on the verge of basically dying. And I just never thought I would be in a situation like that. Never. He got me, like, we spent the day together. He got me a plane ticket to come back out to California, to go stay with my mom. It took me a while to be able to be back functioning the right way. I still have PTSD. It's been about 5 to 6 years now, but it's still certain smells, certain things will trigger me. My husband has gone through a lot as far as emotional and trying to support me any way I can. He tried for a while to try to get me back, and I just wouldn't go. I wouldn't do any of that. I changed my number, I changed all my stuff, I changed everything that I could. I got a restraining order. I did whatever I needed to do just to basically be safe. So people that are out there that are going through that type of situation, there is ways to get help. Try to trust a family member or somebody, but don't stay in that situation if you don't have to. There's too many stories of people getting killed because they stayed in the relationship because they were scared to start over. It's a scary thing to start over, but at the same time, you would be so much better and you wouldn't have to fear for your life every single day. So I hope and I pray that people that are in that type of situation, that they get out of it. And there's a way to get out of it. Like I said, I just left with my important paperwork, my whatever I could fit in my backpack, and $5 to my name, and I just ran. And it was a struggle to redo and get everything that I needed to get back, but at the same time, I'm glad that I did leave, and that I don't have to fear every day and watch my back and be like, oh my God, am I going to get hit today? Or am I going to get yelled at or punished like a little kid or anything like that? So, I mean, granted, I don't have kids, so I understand people that want to like try to stay because of the kids, but at the same time, you could just try to take them and just run. There's so many people out there that will help. Sorry. I go to therapy and I go to help my, like, as far as that, but at the same time, I ended up started to be a cutter. Um, Not to the point where it's like I'm trying to call out for attention, but it was more the fact of because it was something that was making me have a release as far as when I get too overexhausted, like energy, or too overwhelmed with things. So like this right here. Sorry, I just got iron transfusion, but like I would go and I don't know if you can see it, like there, or those are scars from before, or I have them on my leg also. So when I used to get over frustrated, or I couldn't express like how I was feeling, I would end up cutting. And I did it when I was a teenager, when I would get bullied or stressed out, but I tried to learn how to stop doing it. And then when everything started happening as far as coming back, trying to figure out like what I need to do and everything, I ended up cutting again. Um, I told myself that I needed to stop because one day I'm going to end up cutting the wrong way and I'm going to end up dying. And I have too much. I feel like I have to live for. I've been through too much to the point where it feels like I'm here for something, but I don't know exactly what it is yet. So I'm still trying to find out what it is that I'm here for. Um, I feel like above doesn't give you what you can't handle. Um, it's more of the fact of like